This, you're stepping into the ring with some pretty scary looking guys.
Yeah. That was, I don't know if it was the best decision on my part, but I think once we got the blessing from the UFC to use their name in the movie, their organization, their one concern was you got to make it look real, and it's got to be, the best guys. And I said, all right, that was my main concern, that we had to get the best guys to train me and do it real, and then the best guys, to fight me in the ring and make it look real and call BS on something if it doesn't look right and it wasn't legit.
Which is one of the most impressive things about this, is the idea of that an underdog could take on these guys.
Well, that was it. That was the biggest thing to overcome. There are true stories like that. That's what inspired me. He gets into the UFC. I had to be a great wrestler back in the day. I was a state champion. That was one of the prerequisites. And the way to get into the UFC is there's a fallout on an undercard after I have some wins, and that it's on the undercard. It's not even the main event, and they just kind of fill me in there, and it's kind of partially because I'm this sensational story about being a teacher. It's not just a guy who could just walk off the street and go, you know what, I'd like to fight in the UFC.
I guess tell me how this one started off for you.
Okay, I was honored by being asked to speak at Adam Sandler's store on Hollywood Boulevard. I spoke, Kevin James spoke, just the two of us. We shook hands. Maybe this was the second or third time I ever met him. All we did was shake hands. Go home, had a sandwich, got a phone call. Hi, Kevin James. Hi, Kev. I probably shouldn't call you Kev, because I don't know you that well. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Good. Want to be in my movie? Okay, let me think about it. Yes, I would. And that's how it happened. And I'm just so thankful I said yes.
It seems like it's sort of a tricky line to walk, because it's a character that we're a little bit laughing at, but we're also really sympathizing with.
Yes, and both of those things are important. And let me just say, on the days that I got to make Kevin James laugh, was a great day.
We know you as a physical comedian. How much of that crosses over into the fighting?
Well, the fighting, I guess it's funny at some points where you're getting thrown around, and it could be considered, there are some jokes that are made for the physical comedy of that, but the fighting itself, as it progresses through the movie, is not really where the comedy comes from. The comedy comes from the tension that's around there, and then there's a release here and there from other things. But for the believability of the fighting, we kind of remove the comedy as you move along, and you get deeper into it, and it gets more and more real, and you realize what this guy's going through to sacrifice himself for the students and for his friend.
But is the muscle that, maybe literal muscle that you have to flex to step into the ring similar to?
It's a little different. There's physical moves you got to do to, but you throw yourself. You can throw yourself funny, and you can throw yourself, I'm getting my ass kicked. There's different ways of throwing yourself. You can land funnier and try to be goofier and getting up. And this was just kind of more of a survival thing for me. There was a lot of not trying to be funny. It was just kind of trying to stay alive with these guys a lot, because I had told them, and we said, when we get in there and we go, you can't, hold back, because we'll see that.
Every fight, it's all shot in moves. So every punch is a shot. What was amazing to me was to meet the real guys, because every opponent that Kevin has in the movie is a real fighter. Bas Rutten, who I sit next to during the whole film, is one of the premier champions of MMA, who is really nuts. I feel like I want to hit somebody. Is it okay if you don't hit me? Yeah, okay, I won't hit you. It was amazing.
I talked to Gina Carano for Haywire earlier this year, and she said one of the hardest things about acting was not landing the punches. And I was thinking about this when you're on screen.
Well, that's exactly it, because these guys are professional fighters who are taught their whole life to hit the target, punch the target. And now we're telling them, a little bit before the scene we're about to shoot it, just miss. You're supposed to miss a little bit, 6 inches away. Don't, make it look close. We'll make it look like it's a hit. And you can't tell them that. And because not only that, their instincts kick in, but because we wanted this to be sloppy fighting, and I wanted it to be sloppy fighting because it's me fighting. It's not like a guy who's been, being a professional with his technique. It's not every technique lands, everything happens, as planned. It's sloppy. You're falling around. You're exhausted. So in shooting it that way, I was in different places every time. Every take, I'd be in a different place. So when he's coming down hard and throwing a punch, and you're not where you're supposed to be necessarily, you're getting hit. And I did get hit, which was great because we used it in the film, but not great for me physically. I really, honestly, I got pounded.